Oh, it's not working. Maybe I'll give it a Google how you are meant to use it. Or maybe I'll go to YouTube and watch Byron making the mistakes so I don't have to. Hello and welcome to another first impressions testing video. We've got some more dirty down goodness today. This is the final of the 3 products. If you want to see how the rust and the moss went down, we'll link them below. They're in some of our most recent videos. Definitely worth checking out. This thing's great, spoiler. It is a fantastic way to just kind of immediately inject some very different color into your army. I can see myself using this. I would really recommend getting hold of some. Yeah, it's extremely useful basically. I love weathered statues. I'm aware this isn't a statue, but the moment you put this on a statue, it's gonna look more realistic. I will put some stuff in the outro, which is a statue I saw recently, a fountain, which is a perfect example. It's quite a good artistic reference for how the streaking would work on something old and ancient. Anyway, let's just jump straight into my first very uneducated impressions of how the dirty down verdigris goes. If anyone's got any tips or tricks, let us know down below in the comments. We'll pin them in the pinned comment, and then other people can use that as a resource if anyone's got some particularly useful information. Let's jump in. Okay, here we are. We have literally 15 minutes to test out the verdigris from Dirty Down. You guys know the drill by now. I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to see how this goes on first attempt. This has just been bashed out with a super quick sequence of dry brushing, Rhinox Hide, Retributor Armor, Air Silver. My favourite, but you can use any silver, doesn't matter particularly. I would use a good gold though for that. And there's an optional stage here where you could put, I don't know, maybe put Seraphim Sepia over this or something like that, just to pull it down depth-wise, if you wished. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to rock on straight with the verdigris. And as with all this stuff, it's very important to give it a proper shake. Agitate your agitators. All right, let's have a little look how it looks. Okay, kind of bluey green. It's a lovely color. It's like a deep sea green almost. Let's take some of it out. Lob a little on the palette. And I think what we're going to do with this is we're not going to go for subtlety, because it just doesn't feel like that's rewarded with these where you can get away with it. So I'm going to nail pretty much the entirety of one aspect of this with this heavy, and then we'll wipe off the excess. So because it dries quite fast, I'll prepare a wiper, very important, J-cloth wiper. Use an old sad brush, but make sure you clean the gold off it first. Designated heavy duty wash brush. Looking good. And let's just go. Let's go heavy. 1, 2, 3, go. Now this should kind of collect itself in the areas where it would collect naturally in the real world more. But what I'm going to do is I'll try one where we put it on and wipe it off. I'll wipe off the excess now. Oh, I can already see it starting to do its work. That's pretty cool. So it works quite fast as the others do. We'll do that, and then while that's doing its drying, we'll turn around to this aspect and we'll go a bit more heavy, a bit more dilute. Let's dilute with water. Definitely feels like it's kind of maybe drying in the brush. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this stuff dries very quick. Yeah, that's dried real fast in the brush. Okay. Maybe it doesn't like water. As ever, guys, if you've used these products and you're getting good, consistent results with them, let us know your tips down below. I will put a pinned comment below this, and I'll copy and paste any useful advice from our helpful general public in there. Okay, so we got rid of the water off the brush. Maybe that's what was accelerating the drying process. So this is going to be a much thicker application without the water. And we'll just kind of daub it on and hope for the best. That might be the ugly side. We'll see how that turns out. And then I'm going to have one where I just go real quick with water and a blob but there will be water involved. You can literally feel it starting to thicken up, so maybe you don't want to use water with this one as much. Tell you what, after having done 2 sides, we'll leave them dry and we'll read the instructions. This is first impressions, guys, and this is, let's face it, how most people are going to approach something like this. Oh, it's not working. Maybe I'll give it a Google how you are meant to use it, or maybe I'll go to YouTube and watch Byron making the mistakes, so I don't have to. Okay, dries to a verdigris color in 1 to 5 minutes. Apply with brush or airbrush onto plastic paint metal. The surface must be warm. For a lighter shade, apply thin coats. For a darker shade, apply thick coats. They'll be lost by washing in water, so it's water soluble. When dry, avoid scratching or scuffing and avoid water, so it's water activatable, like the others are. Ooh, that got good while we were away. That looks amazing. I definitely prefer this kind of minty aspect. Let's see if we can accelerate it with a hairdryer and get more of it to look like that. Okay, so it's pretty clear to me that I prefer the effect of this when it has been diluted, where it's neat and it's just a green. You know, that's cool, but it's not the type of cool that I'm after. Here, where it's been diluted, it's doing some awesome stuff. And here we've got some really big blobby buildup that we'll get rid of. So what I'm gonna try on this one as the final aspect of it is I'm gonna put it down, I'll spread it over quick without water being involved too much. And then we'll do the water afterwards with a wet cloth, and we'll see if that's a nice way to go about things. I'm just gonna flick the dried bits off my brush because we don't want any chunky blobs in there. Yeah, not big, but obviously you don't want flecks of anything on your miniatures that you didn't decide to put there at least. Big shake, so we're gonna go for like 1, 2, 3 blobs, water it down, smudge it, wipe it with a cloth. Probably going to have like a minute max to do everything that we want to do on this. So let's go quick. 1, 2, 3. Now the water. Anything that rewards me working quick. And that also marries up with my favorite result from it. I am down with. Okay, still wet. Get a cloth. Top to bottom wipe this. And yeah, we'll just have to see how that turns out. We can accelerate that. Now what I'm going to do is, on the section that I'm not so happy with, take a damp cloth. This is probably the most controllable way to do things. Not too wet. You don't want it soaking in there. The wetter it is and the more fluffy your cloth is, the more it's going to dip into those profiles. We want a low profile cloth, not with fluff sticking out. And then we'll just use this to remove the raised area stuff. So this will hit the edges more readily. And I feel like this should be a very good way to get what you want out of the product. You could do this and then just put water over the top to activate the stuff that you'd left. Try that on this section. But less delicately. That's good. It's really pretty nice. On this one here, just try retrospectively going over and just wetting it. See if that changes the colour of things at all. Don't particularly agitate it around with the water or anything, but see if this lightens things up. Definitely is a little bit of it drying in brush bristles, but that's something you can work around. There we go. I mean, that looks amazing, right? That's a joke. that's about as good as I wanted it to be. It does seem to dry faster. Can even see here inside the bottle, it started to dry up potentially quicker than the other one. For me, the best results we've got whilst mixing a little bit of it with the water. See if I can replicate this now. Mix it with the water, go down pretty quick, but not too thick. Remove your chunking. If anyone's got any tips for not having it do that within the brush, do let me know. I think maybe you need maybe a neat application, then playing with it fast while it's on the model is the way to go. Yeah, so that's obviously pretty magic. Wet finger to wet edge highlighting the lazy way. Use a wet cloth, Q-tips, cotton buds, whatever you've got, take it, pushing it around. That's wonderful. I do think it's probably worth putting a little bit of thought into what goes on underneath. So, like the fact that this went from a deep dark brown to a brighter color then with silver on the edges. I think that's worked really well. But I mean, that is probably, it's nearly as exciting as the rust, which I think is a pretty big deal for me. And I would absolutely love to take that. I'd probably dry brush a little bit of silver over that just to catch the raised areas, make them pop. But this is brilliant. Look at those colors. All right, so we're done. It went really well. It's definitely more like the rust in terms of it being a little bit less tricky and finicky to use, and in terms of you being able to predictably get a slightly more controllable set of results out of it. This is great. I'm biased. It's practically, it's like minty turquoise. It's perfect for me. I love the color. I'm going to be using it elsewhere. I will be finding excuses to use this on stuff, and I definitely want to try out some kind of post-processing, so using it but not finishing completely. And yeah, that's it. Any thoughts, opinions, let us know below. We'd really love to see them. And if you've got some useful information of how to get the most out of it, we'll absolutely put that in the pin sticky. I don't know if the video I took of the fountain is going to appear now or if it's already appeared, but anyway, somewhere in this video there is a video of a fountain I took, which is kind of a perfect impression of just how much this stuff looks like the real stuff. And I think definitely using the direction of brush strokes to suggest aging and water flows and stuff like that is going to be a really good way to level up the realism of using it. So I'll try that out myself. Something really interesting, hopefully for other people as well as for me. I had a chat with the person who designed these products a couple of weeks ago, and having done all three of them, I could do a video, afterwards, having spoken to him on how to get the best out of each of them with some of his opinions maybe, and also some of our users' opinions. If that would be useful, let us know, or should I just get on with dry brushing some tanks? That is, quite a lot of people do enjoy us dry brushing tanks. Anyway, that's brilliant. A final thing that I'd appreciate is if there's any more kind of weird, magical products like this out there that people have seen and would like to see us testing for first impressions video, then by all means let us know, and I'll do my best to get hold of them and do one of those if that's something that people are enjoying. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Quite a lot of you aren't subscribed. Click the button, it would really help us out. Also, there is one more thing. I have asked in premieres recently, and what we're going to start doing is we've got some really cool stuff that we are in the process of designing at Artis Opus currently. I'm going to start showing a little bit more of behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how that's going to fit into our videos, if we'll put it in the outros or, like little 30-second snippets in the intros or something like that, or even in the middle of a video. I would really love your thoughts on that. We've got some pretty cool stuff in the works, some gorgeous veneers, like absolutely gorgeous veneers. But please let us know where you would, I want it to fit naturally into what we're doing. Maybe it goes into army vlogs or something like that. As ever, we would really appreciate your thoughts on it because we've got some brilliant feedback. In the last video, we're going to be playing with our sound effects and stuff like that a little bit more, especially in the more chilled out vlogs and stuff like that. Thank you very much for your input. It's really appreciated. I've waffled enough. We'll catch you in the next video.